Welcome to my show where I'm giving you all the stuff you've never heard, and you've known me for like 5 years now.
We've known each other for how long now, and I just found this out on my new section of the podcast of 5 questions. This is insanity.
I can't wait till everybody hears this. Wait a minute, what?
Okay, let's go.
All right, well, welcome everybody to, I guess, 5 questions. And today we have my good friend and fellow podcaster and co-host also of the DHC Sports Show, Eric Proffitt. How you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing well. Appreciate you having me on, Ed.
Oh, yeah. So, before we go on, if you don't mind telling us a little bit about yourself, as far as like your podcast and all that fun stuff, so that everybody can know all about it.
Yeah, so I co-host a podcast called the Earn Fun Average Podcast, part of the Curve Brim Media Network with you. I do it with my good friend Johnny Bolin, and it comes out every Wednesday morning. Talk a lot about minor league, summer collegiate's kind of our big thing right now. We seem to get
it is.
We love the good summer collegiate teams out there, independent professionals. So have on some friends, have on some GMs, we've had some head coaches, and so talk a lot of baseball. But yeah, Earn Fun Average is Johnny and I's podcast that we do.
You really have found the niche in collegiate summer, man. Like you really have a good niche there.
Yeah, we love summer collegiate, and we've gotten a little bit. It's not all summer collegiate up in Canada, but we started to get some teams from Canada to come on as well. So
that's
we
pretty
like to call ourselves Canadians, Canada's podcast. But yeah, we seem to just really enjoy anytime they come on summer collegiate. I don't know, for whatever reason, their episodes seem to do the best to get, their loyal, fans that go to the games. They tune in when they team shares the podcast on their socials. And so, yeah, we've not solely strictly summer collegiate, but that's kind of a big thing of what we're doing. We really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun getting to learn about kind of these smaller teams. We've also done some of the bigger Northwoods leagues and the Cape and the Coastal Plain League. But
I was just going to say, you've done Coastal Plains leagues as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we've done some of the bigger summer collegiate, but also some of those smaller ones that people aren't familiar with. And yeah, just a lot of fun getting to learn about them, the team, the towns they're from. And so.
Hell yeah, dude. I love it. All right. You ready for question number 1, my friend?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, and this one is pretty simple. How did you fall in love with the game of baseball?
A lot of people, talk about, I used to, growing up, would go outside and play catch with, my dad, or kind of those type of stories. And my dad was always there. He was super supportive. I played baseball basically when I was 5 years old up through the year after my, basically my freshman year of college. I didn't play like for college. Mm-hmm. But I did play, and not a whole lot of people know this, I did play for a summer collegiate team in a league that no longer exists here in Wichita.
Wait, hold on a second. We've been friends this long, and now you're just telling me this thing, dude?
Yeah, so I was 19. I played they were called the Wichita Fury, and they, right out of high school, I played for them for one season. It was the River City Victory League, the RCVL here in Wichita. And I talk a lot about, like on my show and sometimes on the show you and I do, about the National Baseball Congress World Series,
right?
Which at the time of this recording actually starts this Thursday. And then this Saturday and Sunday is baseball around the clock. So I'm going to be doing baseball around the clock for the first time. I didn't get to do it last year when they brought it back. So it'll be the first time for me in like 8 or 9 years. But RCVL was a partner league with the NBC, and if we would have won our league, we would have got to play in the NBC World Series. But unfortunately, we ended up taking second in the league, so I didn't get to play in the NBC. I was close, but yeah, only 1 year. But I did get to play. I did play summer collegiate, so not a lot of people know about that.
They're about to find out. That's what they're about to do. Dude, that's amazing. You know how jealous I am? I just wanted to play one season. That's it. Even if it was summer, I would have loved to do that. Obviously, I suck. And I'm just reliving my childhood dreams right now in Sandlot baseball. But man, What position did you play?
So growing up, I pitched a lot, but when in this league, I played mostly second or right field.
Okay.
I wasn't as good with the bat, but I was really good defensively and
Mhm.
wasn't afraid to get dirty. So I made a lot of good defensive plays. But yeah, when I played for the Fury, I was mostly second base and a little bit of right field. But growing up, I pitched a lot, played first, and even played some third. I did everything but catcher growing up. One of the cool things, also kind of unrelated, but it would have been the my seventh and eighth grade years. And then I think even through high school, not the high school team, but the summer team that I played for, the league we had here in Wichita before we got the current Wichita wind surge. We had called Lawrence Dumont Stadium that was built in 1934 and was here till 2018. We actually got to play some games every summer at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. So it's where the last 10 years, it was the Wichita Wingnuts of the Independent Professional American Association. But before that, it was the AA, the Kansas City Royals, the Wichita Wranglers. So I got to play on that same turf field. And it was really weird because when the Wingnuts came in, they switched it and it was all turf. But prior to that, and I never really see this, and obviously I don't think many people do anymore, the outfield was grass and the infield was turf.
What?
It was really weird. That's how Lawrence Dumont was for many years back in the day. It was, you could see the turf was really faded, this really weird green color turf, but the outfield was grass. And when I played there, that's what it was. So I played probably 4 or 5 years and got to play 2 or 3 games every summer at a AA stadium. So welcome to my show where I'm giving you all the stuff you've never heard, and you've known me for like 5 years now.
We've known each other for how long now, and I just found this out on my new section of the podcast of 5 questions. This is insanity.
I can't wait till everybody hears this. Wait a minute, what?
Just I'm gonna be like, y'all gotta listen to this thing.
But just to kind of, obviously I haven't even really gotten to answer your question. So my parents were super supportive. They took me, my parents took me to all my games. And, you had on, and I actually listened today, Kelly Robinson and then Virgil Brooks, they scored all the games. Well, my mom kept score for all my games. And that's how I learned, is from actually my mom, because she kept score for my games. And so she taught me. So, a lot of times it's like, oh, I learned from an uncle or dad or whatever. But for me, it was my mom. But I do remember my parents, especially my dad, would take me out to like the NBC World Series at Lawrence Dumont growing up. But for me, I have 2 older brothers. My brother Joe is 6 years older, and then my oldest brother Nick is 8 years older. And so for me, I think I kind of learned and loved the game more so from my brothers, I would say, than anything.
That's awesome, dude. And obviously I know one of your brothers, Joe, which he's an awesome dude. Love hanging out with Joe. He's hilarious. Oh my God, I cannot believe it. Almost 5 years, and then you just decided to just drop this bombshell on me. Jesus.
That's right. So we would always go either just outside in our front yard, or there is a park that's still there that was probably 5-minute walk from my parents' house growing up, and my mom still lives in that same house, so it's still right over close to actually where I live now. But we would always either walk or ride our bikes to the park.
Yeah.
And there was a field there. Obviously, it was not a very good field, but it had a backstop and dirt. Or we would go out, if it was being used, we would go out into the big grassy area and would use our bicycles as bases.
Yeah.
And then so we'd run and have the bicycles, and we'd kind of step near it or kind of touch the tires for the bases. But yeah, for me, I think it was more kind of with both my brothers. And then so I have 2 older brothers, as I mentioned, but then next door there were 3 boys.
Yeah.
And so I was the youngest of the 6 between both my brothers, myself, and then the 3 boys next door. My brother Nick was 8 years older. So between me and the, 8 years older, there were 6 of us within that 8-year range. So we'd always go outside and play wiffle ball or whatever. And then across the street, there was two more boys. So there's basically 8 of us. So we'd always just go
You
to the
almost had
park and
almost
play.
a whole full team, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'd say more so for me, instead of, obviously, like I said, my parents were super supportive and took me to all
Yeah.
my games and stuff. But I think more so with my brothers and then the neighbor boys next door and across the street growing up.
That's cool as shit, dude. I love that. That's awesome. I know you say you have 2 brothers. I've obviously never met their oldest one, but met Joe. So, all right, give me a couple stories, man. Like of you, going to games or growing up. Like there has to be something that's just really really you gravitated towards the game, because obviously we both have plenty of stories. So give me a couple of them.
Yeah, like I mentioned, so with the Wichita Wranglers, they were here
Mm-hmm.
from the late 80s up until 2007. So I remember going to the ballpark quite a bit.
Such
And
a cool logo.
something that I think I've mentioned before, but also another thing that may shock you if you don't really know, is that I used to work in minor league affiliated ball. So I used to work for the Wichita Wranglers
You gotta be
back in
kidding me.
2003, 2004. And when I was there, they had Zack Greinke, big
Yep.
MLB All-Star Cy Young winner. He pitched here for Wichita. He was 19 years old at the time.
Jesus.
That was right before he went through his cycle, whatever. He had to leave the game for a few years, and then he came back.
I remember that.
And when he came back, he was back with Wichita. So then again in 2006, and then in 2006, that team had like Alex Gordon, Billy Butler. So some of the guys that went to
some of the World Series. Yeah.
So it was fun getting to watch them. So I think one of my fun stories was when I was working for the Wranglers. I did a few different odd jobs, but mostly I was an usher, but I was kind of the main usher right behind the home plate.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got to have a walkie-talkie to talk to like the main whoever, that I was working for, main boss or whatever. But the Wranglers had won the division, and so they were down on the field celebrating. And most of the time, you see them celebrating in the locker rooms, but they had the champagne down on the field.
Yep.
And at the time, Greinke in 2003 was only 19.
Couldn't drink.
And so the security guard, police officer right next to me goes, "Hey, somebody watch number 13. He's not old enough to drink," or something, just kind of joking around. But that's always a memory that stuck with me. And then that 2006 team, they end up losing the Texas League Championship Series. But I just remember going to those games, going to the playoff games where they were right there about to win a championship. Was a lot of fun. And then when Lawrence Dumont, they tore that down 2018, my brother, I think both my brothers were there, but I remember specifically my brother Joe and I were there, and just kind of the nostalgia of being growing up at that ballpark and knowing they were going to tear it down, and just all those memories we had. And then so like afterwards we went outside and took pictures with the stadium behind us and stuff. And
did you get to keep one of the seats?
No, that's one thing I regret. So they actually had it before they tore it down where you could go and get a stadium seat, but they said, "Oh yeah, you have to bring your own tools." And I didn't have anything with me at the time while I was up there at the stadium, because they had like a local media versus some kind of fun little celebrity softball game. It was kind of like the last little hurrah that they did. And while they're there, like, "Oh yeah, if you guys want seats," and I should have just had somebody that was there just get one for me. So
absolutely.
Unfortunately, that's one thing I regret. I did not get a seat from that stadium. I wish I would have.
Same with me with Municipal Stadium. Obviously I got there when, the Indians at that point were moved into the new, where it is Progressive Field right now. I don't know if you know that, but it's called Progressive Field. They only have one sign, only one, not 6 or 7 up front. But I regret not getting a muni lot stadium seat. That would have been cool.
Yeah, for sure. Another big memory that kind of jumps to mind just because it was somewhat recent. So 3 years ago. So, as I said, I grew up, I enjoyed watching baseball, but I never really traveled until I kind of met this little
just
group
recently.
of friends through social media. So 2022, everybody has this, our friend Anna with the baseball bucket list. Everybody says, "I want to go see baseball in Hawaii." Well, I had a little bit of advantage on that just because my wife's, her sister and family live. They were on the Big Island at the time. Now they're in Honolulu. But in 2022, February, to start the season, I flew out to Hawaii to see her family and then went over to Honolulu and got to see the University of Hawaii. They were playing Washington State University. So I got to see baseball at Les Murakami Stadium. And then from there, came home, went down to Frisco to see the Frisco Classic down at Frisco, Texas, where the Rough Riders play. And then ended up in 2022 was basically the first and last time they had all three of the AAA championships of the International League, the Pacific Coast League, and then the Ultimate AAA National Championship. So ended up 2022 saw my first 100 baseball games in one season.
This dude, I'm telling you guys, this dude goes through so many trips. So jealous right now. Like, I mean, oh God, I'm just still trying to work on booking my flight to Vegas for in September.
Yeah, dude, that ballpark is gorgeous.
I'm scared. I'm scared of booking my flight. I'm not lying.
If you get there though, that I love. I've been there 5 times now.
Yeah,
and I've yet to see the Aviators play at their home ballpark.
I know, but you've seen everybody else.
Because I went last year to the AAA National Championship between Sugar Land and Omaha, which was a lot of fun getting to see the Royals AAA. And then we actually went 2 years ago. They have a thing called Enchant Christmas, and it's a bunch of Christmas lights and Christmas trees, and they have an ice skating rink and sledding and vendors and stuff. So we actually went out there and went to that at the ballpark. Didn't see a game. Obviously, it was December. Right. It was a lot of fun getting to go there. And then the 3 games then in 2022. So I've yet to see. Now, this year, Vegas has won the first half. So they're going to host the championship series. And then if they win that, then they'll be able to host the national championship game. But it's funny how I've been out there and yet to see the actual Aviators. Yeah.
It's, you know, and for those of you that don't know, like when I say that I'm nervous, is I was supposed to go last year, but a hurricane completely destroyed those plans. Like it pushed my flight. They canceled my flight. Then they switched my flight, and then they said, "Oh, by the way, you don't have a seat. You got to go back in." And so it was a whole ordeal just to get in there, and it was just I was disappointed. I was sad. So I'm trying to get back this year. It's going to be interesting, but we'll see. All right. Okay, so question number 3, my friend. Give me some of your traditions, like that you follow, that you do as far as baseball. I know for one of them that you truly do love is doing the wave at baseball games. So please indulge me in your traditions.
So if this is not only audio but video, you can tell that Ed was not serious about that, because there's 2 things that I cannot stand with baseball. The first one is the wave.
Yep.
The second one is the shift. Now they've kind of gotten away from being able to do the shift, but they still can, because you can basically have the shortstop play right up behind second base.
Yep.
And funny quick story. So last week, we here in Wichita have season tickets to the Wichita Wind Surge, and I know our friend Patrick will love that I say that here.
I know, right?
Because he's like, "Oh, what? You have season tickets?" But
he's not. He hasn't been on the 5 Questions podcast.
I know
yet,
he's gonna be mad about that. But
I can't wait.
Last Tuesday night, a week ago Tuesday, the Wind Surge were at home, and the game was tied with San Antonio 9-9 in the 9th inning. I think 2-2, and they had a runner at first and maybe a runner at second, and the second baseman was shifted over towards the first baseman, where he was pretty close to the first baseman. And I told my son Zach, I'm like, he needs to move to his right. The hitter's going to hit the ball right up the middle. He's not going to be able to field it. They're going to score. Move. He goes, no, analytics say this lefty's going to hit it right to him at playing just past first base or whatever. I'm like, he needs to move to his right. Sure enough, first pitch right up the middle. If he would have moved over to his right, like 2 steps, easy field ground ball and gotten out of the inning, could have gone in and maybe walked it off. Instead, gave up 2 runs in the inning and lost like 4-2 or whatever. And
that's the
I was
problem.
So frustrated. And I'm like, the shift and the wave are not my favorite. One thing I will do when I go to the games now, like our good friend Paul, I'll get an ice cream helmet with whatever, logos they have on there. I also started because of our friend Charles Dennis. I will collect the little lapel pins and
Yes.
put those on the map. And then I also have been doing the passport stamp. And so
You
I
have
get the
been doing a
book.
passport. The one I'm doing the same with you is the pins.
Mhm.
I the last couple of for the corporate media meetup, we didn't get to have those, which was kind of sad. That I was like, oh man.
Yeah. So I had started that in 2022 because
Mhm.
Charles was doing that. So I had them from pretty much all of my games. Now they're only at my minor league affiliated and then major league. But so like the University of Hawaii, when I went to the college game, they didn't have it like that, but they had all the others. So I got them at like the AAA national championship and stuff for
Yeah.
Las Vegas ballpark. So I've had multiple because I've run out of spaces, but basically I've done a passport stamp book at all the stadiums since 2022. And then I wasn't huge into, if I'm here at home, we usually eat dinner before we go to the game.
Mhm.
But because of our friend Val, now if I'm traveling somewhere, I have to get what the
They're the
exotic or whatever
local, yeah,
food,
yeah.
local
I
beer or whatever foods they have. Donnie and I got deep fried moon pie when we were at the Asheville tourist game, and
sounds
that was
delicious.
phenomenal. It was so
Sounds
good.
delicious. So many calories, but sounds delicious. See, that's the thing though. It's like we have all been influenced by some of the people that we have met across social media, right? On some of the things that we do, like you said, Charles Dennis, what Val does, what all these people do, just because we talk and it's like, you know what, that's actually a pretty good idea.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep.
like as far as Major League Baseball hats comes for me now is if I don't visit that ballpark, I won't get a Major League Baseball hat from them. Like I just won't.
Yeah, so I'm a Kansas City Royals fan, and I have a few of the Royals hats, but for the most part, any of the hats I have are either summer collegiate or minor league affiliated.
Yep.
I have almost all of the Wichita Windsurge 5950s they've had out over
Almost all the
the 5 years that they've been in existence. And but yeah, I have nine, I think, MLB stadiums left, and I just don't really get any hats from them. Just
Mhm.
I don't I enjoy going to the ballparks and stuff, but like I said, I have a few Royals, but I don't even have that many. I have maybe three or four. So my majority of the hats that I have are all minor league affiliated or summer collegiate or independent professional. Some of those.
Yeah, I can see that. Listen, I got a bunch of Durham Bowls. That's like I think I have almost every single one of the dad head versions of the what the Durham Bowls have put out there. Just because every time I go, I pick something else. You know,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
it's just you know how that goes.
Yeah, and what's kind of funny is where you're at now. So I've been to the Durham Bulls Athletic Park three times now.
Hmm.
So it's a fun ballpark, and I have a few of their hats. But yeah, local teams usually you try to get as many as you can, just because it's pretty
Yep.
accessible for the most
Yep.
part.
Yep. Exactly. So, what other traditions you got?
Well, I wouldn't say that it's necessarily a tradition, but just now at this point, trying to get to 100 games a year.
That's
Um,
cool.
after 2022, I was able to hit 100 games. 2023, I only had 81. Last year, I hit 100, and then this year, I think I'm gonna fly over it because we just hit the All Star break. Just finished the All Star break. I'm already at 74. Now
Jesus.
it's pretty easy for me to do just because we do
Season
have the
tickets.
season tickets to the Wind Surge. They're home this week, so I'll be there tomorrow through Friday, so that's four more games. And then baseball around the clock is 11 games in 33 hours. It
Jesus.
runs from noon Saturday through the 6 p.m. Is it 6 p.m. or 9 p.m. game on Sunday? And so it's noon, 3, 6, 9, midnight, 3 a.m. Sunday, 6 a.m. Sunday, 9, noon, 3, and then I think 6 is the last one. So, which will get over
Jesus.
about 9. So, I'll have 11 games right there in 2 days, basically. So,
So let me ask you, um, are you going to stay the whole time?
yeah. So, with baseball around the clock, basically, they have where you can pay $30 to see all 11 games, which, if you think of it in a normal aspect, that's like really good. To see
Yeah.
that many games. Even it's the premier summer collegiate tournament
Right.
that Wichita hosts. This is the 91st season, and so with around the clock, basically, you start out with the noon game on Saturday, and they do at least one check-in per game. And if you make it all the way through, they have different prizes. They have a I survived around the clock t-shirt you get at the end.
Yeah.
So yeah, my wife and I are doing it. Our friend Terry McCutcheon's coming up from Abilene. He's going to do it.
Oh, Terry's going to be up there?
Yeah, so he's coming up. He'll be here for it. And then I know like Donnie said he wants to do it sometime. He won't be able to do it this year, but maybe in the next couple of years he'd probably come and do it. But yeah, the plan is to stay there. You only have roughly 40 minutes in between each game for the next teams to warm up, where you can go out to the car or whatever, but you can't really leave because if they do the sounder and they'll say, okay, round the clockers, go down by the first base dugout and check in at the check-in table or whatever. And if you miss the check-in, you're technically out. Now, you could theoretically still stay there, but yeah, the plan is to try to make it the entire time. Lack of sleep is going to be
a pain.
Yeah.
That is going to be wild. Good. God bless you. I think it'll be cool. Like when Donnie does go to, I'll try to do that. So that'd be cool just to do some like live streaming at the same time.
It's a lot of fun because in the past when we've done it, so they've changed it up. So they didn't have it for about 8 or 9 years just because they had changed the format of the tournament. There used to be 32 to 40 teams, and it was easier to do with more teams. Now they only have 16 teams, but they brought it back last year, and the format's changed a little bit. When I used to do it in the past, it was 17 games in 56 hours.
Jesus.
So it's obviously 6 more games, more time. So they started at 5 o'clock on Friday and ran through the 10 p.m. game on Sunday.
Yeah.
But they would have the last game Friday night and Saturday night at 12:30 a.m. So when that ended 3:30, 4 o'clock, you didn't have to be back to the 8 a.m. game Saturday or Sunday. Well, here it just runs straight through. So you don't have those breaks other than that 40 minutes. So I think this one's going to be harder.
It's 100% harder.
Because what we would do is we would just go home, sleep for 2 or 3 hours, and then come back. Whereas this one, you don't have that break. The cool thing is, so this happened one of the tournaments we did where because of rain and stuff, it pushed the tournament back. We saw a game that started like at 3 a.m. We watched the sun rise. So normally, you're at a ball game, you see the sun set.
Yeah.
Because it was 4 or 5 a.m., 6 a.m., you got to see the sun rise from the outfield. And that's going to happen this time too, because there's a 3 a.m. and then a 6 a.m. game. So it's a lot of fun to get to see a sunrise at the ball game instead of a sunset.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. I'm gonna have to add that to my bucket list, right? Because right now, like, the midnight sun game is it's one of my bucket lists that I just always wanted to do. So I got to find a way to do it.
And speaking of midnight sun game, so that's usually the Alaska Gold Panthers from the Alaska Baseball League. Well, they are coming back for the first time in 7 or 8 years, so they're going to be here.
Cool.
And they just put out the schedule today. So we get to see every team play this weekend during Round the Clock, but we get to see them twice. So they play the 3 p.m. game on Saturday and then the final 6 p.m. game on Sunday during Round the Clock. Now they'll get to continue playing because they have pool play before bracket play.
Yeah.
But get to see Alaska for the first time, and it'll be a lot of fun because we used to have multiple Alaskan teams here. We used to have a Puerto Rican national team come, Chinese Taipei. So they used to have, when it was a lot bigger, they'd have a lot of big teams come in to play. Unfortunately, it's still going, not quite as many teams, but yeah, Alaska is coming back for the first time in 7 or 8 years. So it'll be fun to get to see them. But yeah, you got to bring that. And it's a lot of fun because if you do it with a group of people, then in between games, you can go out and grill or just hang out, chat with friends. So yeah, sometime if you make it here in the next few years, you got to check it out. Round the Clock's a lot of fun.
100%. Are they going to be broadcasting this like on YouTube or something like that?
They will be, yeah. Okay. They always have it on YouTube, NBC World Series, and they've partnered. I forgot the name of who they were partnering with this year, but there's some social media team, I'd have to look it up, that's going to be, they've partnered with that will be able to not only, I don't know that they're specifically streaming the games, but they will have a lot of content. Prospect Dugout. Prospect Dugout on Twitter, and they're going to be bringing like exclusive coverage and stuff. So they're going to have a lot of content. So yeah, if you follow Prospect Dugout and then just through like YouTube, National Baseball Congress World Series or NBC World Series, they'll stream all those games.
I can't wait. I'll watch it. So All right, man. We're done. We're done. We've done 3. We're down to 2 questions, my friend. All right. Um, tell me, how has baseball changed your life?
Well, for one, I've made a lot of new friends that I hadn't had previous. And one of the kind of weird things with getting into this group here, I never really, I just kind of came across it. It's actually started with Paul.
Yep.
And what was funny is that back in around 2020 or so, before I kind of got into our Twitter group where we have a lot of minor league baseball friends, I had maybe like 1 or 2 helmets, like little ice cream helmets.
Oh, yeah.
And it was the Kansas City Royals. And for work, I travel quite a bit. Normally it's to a customer's office, but this time it was to one of our satellite campuses. And I went out, it's about 30 minutes from here, and I was over there and got done with our little training or whatever. And one of the workers there, I'd walked in their break room, and that was around the time that the New Orleans baby cakes were moving to Wichita.
Yep.
And they had a New Orleans baby cakes ice cream helmet sitting there. And I mentioned to the guy that works at my company, I was like, that's a cool helmet. He's like, take it. He's like, nobody wants it. I'm like, okay. So I took it. And I'm like,
don't mind if I do.
I was like, wait a minute. Okay, I got the Royals. I got the New Orleans baby cakes. There's got to be more than this. So I just Googled like ice cream helmets. Of course, Paul was the first one that popped up.
Of course.
So I started following him. And then from there, just kind of evolved where I started following. And so, for me, obviously, that's a big thing, is just a lot of friends that I've made. And a lot of my friends I've been able to meet in person at the ballpark, whether they've come to Wichita or I've traveled out to see them, or have gone somewhere completely separate that we've met up at.
Yep.
And then obviously I've been able to start a podcast, talk a lot about baseball, and just get to meet a lot of cool people, authors, coaches, GMs, fans. It's
such a long list of people that you get to meet when you're doing this, and it's so much fun.
Yes, for sure.
It's not so much fun editing afterwards sometimes, but it's just, having the conversations. Yeah.
The toughest time I had with that was when Johnny, Paul, and I hopped on a very early part of the podcast, and we went on a Friday night for probably 2.5 hours. And we just kept talking, and Paul's like, I'm so sorry. I put off editing that episode for the longest time. I did not want to tackle that. I've gotten a lot better since, but that was one of the first ones I remember having to do. That was like torture, just because it was just so long, trying to piece it together. And I ended up putting that into a couple episodes just because it was so long.
It was just so big. Yeah, such a big episode. 2.5 hours. Yeah, dude, that's a massive conversation.
But I've also just been able to grow my love of the game, being able to go to some cities and towns that I never would have otherwise. Because, like I said, I used to watch baseball growing up here locally, but never really traveled outside much. Maybe went to Kansas City here or there, but now obviously I'd travel to all parts of the country.
And it's fun, isn't it? Like, it's just, meeting all these people and just, like it says, like exploring and all that. It's such a fun environment that we get to do that now. So, all right, my friend, are you done 4? You ready for number 5?
Yes, sir.
All right. So why baseball?
For me, I've always been a sports fan in general. I'm a big college football fan, big NFL fan. Don't really care for like the NBA, but love college basketball. For those games are fun, but they're pretty fast paced for the most part. And with baseball, I just think it's just relaxing. Like, with our show that we do Tuesdays and Thursday nights, I don't think there's any way that I could sit there, try to watch a football game and broadcast live like I do with during a baseball game. It's just the slower game. Now they've obviously tried to speed it up as much as possible, but I just think that you have the opportunity where you can have these friendships, you can have that conversation and get to talk with somebody. So we came to Durham and we just sat at a ball game and got to chat with you and get to, being able to watch the game just because it is slow enough to a point where you can just enjoy the camaraderie with your friends. And that's why we try to have these meetups and stuff, just because it gives us opportunity where we're not going to miss anything if we go and walk around. Because if we were to try to walk around a football stadium or whatever, you're probably going to miss quite a bit of the game. if you go to the concession stands or whatever, just because those are more of a fast-paced type environment. So for me, just being able to have those, friendships and those conversations and still get to enjoy the game and not really miss much of it. And then just being able to, it's affordable. I know sometimes the games can be pricey depending on if it's MLB or whatever, but even then it's more affordable than what like an NFL game would be, basketball game, that type of thing. And then just there's way more opportunities, way more teams, 120 minor league teams, 119 stadiums. That doesn't include MLB. Obviously, there is a lot of football stadiums, but to me, I just think it's a lot more fun to go travel and see baseball stadiums than it would be to see like an NFL or basketball venue.
I love it. By the way, kudos to you on saying 120 with 109, 19 stadiums. That's a good little trivia there for you guys. If you guys know exactly what he meant by that, what are the two teams that play in the same stadium? Well, I'm not going to say it, but I do know them, and so does Eric.
Look it up.
I know. You got to look it up and put it in the comments because that is actually really good trivia questions. Good job, man. I like that.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Eric. This has been a lot of fun. Our friend Patrick is going to be mad that he hasn't been on, and then you have. So whoopsie daisy. Love you, Patrick.
He'll be okay.
You'll be all right. You'll get over it. Where can people find you on the socials, my friend?
Yeah, so I have like 10 Instagram pages, but the main one to follow is just the Influencer EP. So my nickname on our show is the Influencer. So I go by the Influencer EP on Instagram. So that's where I post all my games. And then if you're on Twitter, I'm ePro04, ePro04. And then for the podcast, Earn Fun Average, we abbreviate Average AVG. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and Blue Sky.
Love it. Love it. My friend, thank you so much. And then make sure you guys are following the DHG Sports Show. It is every Tuesday and Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Also, I am on, I've been a lot more conscious of where I spend most of my social media time. So it's Instagram, Threads, and Blue Skies, and then obviously on YouTube as well if you're watching this episode on YouTube. So, and then the podcast is the Dad Hat Chronicles podcast. You can find it wherever you find or listen to your podcasts. And we will see you guys in the next one.
This podcast is part of the Curved Brim Media Network. Here are some of the other members of Curved Brim Media.
Hi, this is Kelly Robinson, the Minor League Nerd. My YouTube channel explores the history of minor league baseball teams. More than just stats, we delve into team lineage, sharing stories from current franchises to obscure one-year wonders.
I'm Paul Caputo, and on the Baseball by Design podcast, I talk to minor league baseball teams, designers, and other super interesting people about what these minor league baseball logos mean, and I talk a little bit about ice cream helmets.
What's up, Bucketheads? I'm Anna DiTomaso, and each week on the Baseball Bucket List podcast, I speak with a different fan about their favorite baseball memories, what the game means to them, and what's left to check off on their baseball bucket list.
Hey everyone, it's Eric from the great state of Kansas.
This is Johnny from the New Orleans Baby Cakes Memorial Museum.
And we are the Earn Fun Average podcast,
where we talk to a variety of guests about their love of baseball and have fun doing it.
America, lower your standards.
Average is what we do best.
This is Patrick
and Corey
of BaseballMapper.com, and we have made an interactive map to help highlight all baseball teams from the majors down to collegiate summer leagues.
We want to bring you closer to baseball. So get on the site and find a team near you today.
Hey guys, this is Patrick Larson from the Minor League Baseball Hat History Series. And in every episode, I go through the history of minor league teams through my personal collection of hats. You can find me on Twitter at PatLarson1. I hope you guys enjoy.
Learn more about Curved Brim Media at curvedbrimmedia.com.